Every year, millions of older adults lace up their sneakers, walk into gyms, or press play on home workout routines with a shared goal in mind: to stay strong, steady, and independent. It's a noble goal, one driven by the desire to remain active, avoid falls, and keep doing the things that make life fulfilling. But buried beneath all the fitness advice targeted at seniors lies a problem that few talk about. Some of the most commonly recommended leg exercises, particularly certain squats, might actually be doing the opposite of what they promise. They're not strengthening muscles the way they should. Instead, they're quietly wearing them down, one repetition at a time. And the scary part? Most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. These exercises are praised in magazines, shown on fitness DVDs, included in Safe for Seniors programs, and even recommended by well-meaning trainers. But what no one tells you is that not all squats are created equal. Some squats might be too deep. Others apply far too much pressure on joints already vulnerable to age-related wear and tear. And others still demand balance and flexibility that naturally fade with time. These silent stressors can gradually strip away strength, destabilize joints, and set the stage for injury, not just in the gym, but in everyday life. Imagine feeling strong during your workout, but then noticing stairs feel harder, or getting up from a chair requires more effort than usual. That's not just aging. That's your body sending a quiet warning. Let's take one example that's particularly dangerous for those over 60, the deep barbell back squat. At first glance, it looks impressive. A bar across the shoulders, a strong descent, a powerful lift back up. But for older adults, this move may be one of the most harmful. Here's why. As the body ages, the cartilage cushioning our joints begins to thin, especially behind the kneecaps. The lower spine becomes more compressed. Stabilizing muscles in the hips lose their power. Performing a deep back squat while weighted with a barbell loads enormous pressure onto these fragile areas. We're not talking about a little pressure either. When squatting deeply with a barbell, the force on your knees and spine can reach up to 8 times your body weight. That's like stacking an elephant on a broomstick. Your body can only hold so much before something gives. And it won't be obvious. You won't necessarily hear a pop or feel a sudden tear. Instead, the damage builds in silence. A little soreness after workouts, a growing sense of instability when you walk, a nagging ache in the knees that wasn't there before. This slow breakdown is what makes it so dangerous. Many seniors don't even realize the source of their decline. They're doing everything right, showing up, sticking to the program, following instructions, but their joints and muscles quietly suffer under the strain. One moment, everything seems fine. The next, standing up, becomes difficult. Walking feels uncertain. You begin to rely on furniture for support. Independence starts slipping through your fingers. And it's not because you stopped exercising, it's because you were doing the wrong kind of exercise. That's what makes this all so deceptive. The movements feel productive. Trainers often push them as essential. But for a body over 60, what builds strength isn't brute force. It's smart, joint-safe movement. Your goal isn't to impress others. It's to preserve your ability to move freely, to protect your balance, and to maintain confidence in your own body. That's not weakness. It's wisdom. And yet, despite this, the deep squat isn't the only problem. Another growing trend that's quietly undermining the strength of older adults is the jump squat. It's often featured in energetic routines, senior-friendly fitness apps, or ageless power DVDs. The idea is to create explosiveness, jump up, land, and repeat. It feels dynamic, like it's working your heart and muscles all at once. But here's what you may not know. When you land from a jump squat, your joints absorb a shock wave of impact, up to 6 times your body weight, on your knees, hips, and ankles. Younger bodies can cushion that. Older ones, with thinner cartilage and slower recovery, can't. And the results are often subtle at first. Small tears in tendons, microscopic inflammation, and gradual weakening of muscle fibers. Over time, these add up to instability, stiffness, and pain that linger long after the workout is over. You might not notice the problem immediately. In fact, at first, you may feel energized, but a few days later it starts. A nagging pain in one knee, a little wobble in the ankle, a tightness that doesn't go away. Then one morning, you step off a curb and your leg gives out. Or you try to rise from a chair and feel a sharp jolt of discomfort. That's not just aging. That's the aftermath of movements that weren't meant for your body, and no one told you. Because no one wants to admit that some popular fitness advice is wrong. Even machines, those gleaming metal fixtures in gyms that look professional and promise safety, aren't always what they seem. Take the squat machine, for instance. It holds your legs in place, controls the movement, and gives you the illusion of stability. But beneath the surface, it's quietly wreaking havoc. By isolating the knees and removing the engagement of the glutes and hips, it loads pressure directly onto the front of the knees, overworking the patellar tendon and stressing the joint in unnatural ways. Unlike free movements that allow your body to adjust, machines like this force you into fixed patterns. And if your joints don't like that angle, tough luck. They still absorb the strain. The damage from these machines doesn't announce itself with one big injury. It shows up slowly, a burning sensation in the knees, difficulty walking downstairs, a sense that your legs just don't feel right anymore. And the irony is painful. You used the machine thinking it was safer, easier, you followed instructions, but it was quietly undoing your strength. These movements don't just cause physical strain, they erode trust in your own body. You begin to doubt your ability to walk safely, to balance, to stand tall. That fear becomes a mental weight, making you hesitate, move cautiously, avoid activity, and that leads to even more decline. Now imagine adding balance into this dangerous equation. That's what happens with the pistol squat, also known as the single leg squat. It might be hailed as a gold standard for strength and balance, but for someone over 60, it's like walking a tightrope over a pit. You stand on one leg, extend the other forward, and lower your body in a deep, controlled descent. In theory, it builds balance, strength, coordination. In practice, it demands ankle stability, reflexes, and muscle control that most older bodies no longer have. One misstep, one loss of balance, and the consequences are immediate: a fall, a fracture, weeks or months of painful recovery. But even if you manage to complete the movement, the strain it puts on your knee, hip, and ankle is immense. The working leg carries all the weight, and the pressure builds deep within the joint, increasing your risk of tendinitis, meniscus tears, or even nerve compression. And the worst part? You thought it was safe. You saw it in a senior-approved routine. Maybe it was labeled as low impact or a way to reverse aging, but it didn't reverse anything. It just made movement harder. That's the danger of these exercises. They don't scream their damage. They whisper it until it's too loud to ignore. Let's pause here. If this feels eye-opening or even a little upsetting, that's good. It means you're paying attention. These aren't just exercises. They're choices that shape your future. Stay with me for part 2, where we'll explore the final hidden risk behind seemingly simple movements, and more importantly, walk through exactly what to do instead. Because building strength after 60 isn't about pushing harder, it's about pushing smarter. And the right movements can preserve your independence, mobility, and confidence for years to come. Let's make sure you're doing the right ones. The final squat variation many older adults are being led into involves something that seems deceptively harmless: resistance bands. These stretchy, colorful tools are everywhere in senior workouts, touted as gentle, adaptable, and safe for home use. But one version of the band squat has quietly become a hidden threat, and it all comes down to how it's used. When the resistance band is placed behind the neck and across the shoulders, mimicking a barbell, and squats are performed under that tension, it sets up the perfect storm for muscular and postural breakdown, especially in aging bodies. What looks like a simple exercise turns into a strain-inducing maneuver that slowly warps the spine, compresses the neck, and weakens the muscles responsible for keeping you upright. As you lower your body, the band pulls you forward, subtly rounding your shoulders and forcing your head downward. That posture may not seem like a big deal in the moment, but over time, it reinforces the exact patterns that lead to stooped backs, chronic neck tension, and a loss of balance. This kind of movement, repeated daily or weekly, retrains the body in the wrong direction. Instead of building a strong, confident stance, it encourages a forward hunch, and the more it's repeated, the harder it becomes to stand tall again. The danger here isn't just in the posture, it's also in the unpredictability of resistance bands. Unlike weights, which offer a stable load, resistance bands create variable tension. That tension increases dramatically the more you stretch the band, often peaking at the bottom of a squat, the exact moment when your joints are already under the most stress. For seniors, this means there's a real risk of sudden jolts, muscle pulls, or unexpected joint strain, particularly in the shoulders, neck, and spine. Add in a bit of poor form or fatigue, and what seemed like a safe, beginner-friendly movement quickly becomes a source of lasting discomfort. What's even more frustrating is how these exercises are packaged as safe simply because they're low weight or use gentle equipment. But gentle doesn't mean harmless. A resistance band, when used the wrong way, can be just as damaging as a barbell if it reinforces bad posture or overloads sensitive joints. And many older adults don't notice the harm until it's too late. It starts with a nagging ache in the shoulders, then maybe a stiff neck that makes it hard to sleep. Eventually, that stiffness spreads down the spine, pulling posture into a permanent slouch that affects balance, confidence, and mobility. That's the hidden toll of an exercise that seemed too light to hurt you. The damage is real, and it adds up fast when no one warns you about it. But here's the good news. There are safer, smarter alternatives, movements designed specifically with aging bodies in mind. These aren't flashy. They won't win style points in a gym, but they work, and they protect your independence instead of compromising it. One of the simplest, most effective replacements for risky squats is the chair-assisted box squat. Instead of going deep with weight or risking a fall with one leg, you simply stand in front of a sturdy chair, feet hip-width apart, and slowly lower yourself until your hips just touch the seat before standing back up. No need to sit fully. Just a tap, then rise again. This movement respects your body's limits. It trains your muscles without overloading them. It teaches balance in a controlled, safe environment, and it strengthens the very muscles that keep you stable, your glutes, thighs, and core. No bands, no weights, just your body and gravity, working together the right way. Another underrated but powerful move is the wall sit. By holding a seated position with your back flat against the wall and knees bent at a comfortable angle, you activate the major leg muscles without risking joint damage. It builds endurance, it teaches control, and it lets you adjust intensity based on how long you hold it. Or consider step-ups onto a low platform, like a staircase or exercise step. These simulate real-life movements, climbing stairs, rising from the floor, and build functional strength where it matters most. Add in gentle heel raises to strengthen calves and ankles, and you've got a complete leg routine that supports stability, coordination, and safe mobility. No need for deep bends, jumps, or one-legged stunts. And perhaps most important of all, when in doubt, scale back and simplify. Exercise should never feel like a gamble. If you ever find yourself wondering whether a movement feels off or if something hurts even a little, stop. Reassess. It's better to go slow and steady than to push into pain. Because after 60, your body's primary job isn't to break records. It's to keep you upright, independent, and able to enjoy life on your own terms. It's also important to understand the mindset shift needed to protect your strength in the long run. Growing older doesn't mean surrendering to frailty, but it does require exercising with a different kind of wisdom. The techniques that worked in your 30s or 40s may no longer serve you well. And that's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of experience. The real strength lies not in how much you can lift, but in knowing what to lift, how to move, and when to say no to trends that don't honor your body's current needs. That wisdom comes from listening to your body, your instincts, and the subtle signals that something isn't quite right. Because those signals, if ignored, turn into setbacks. The truth is, most leg injuries in seniors don't happen from sudden trauma. They happen from repeated stress, movements that weren't designed for your physiology, exercises that stack strain on aging joints, routines that push beyond what your muscles can stabilize. And sadly, many of these routines are disguised as senior-friendly. But now, you know better. You've seen the warning signs, you understand the risks, and you can make better choices, not just for today, but for every step you take going forward. So, next time you're in a gym, a class, or following along with a video, pay attention to the cues. Ask yourself, does this movement respect my body's limits? Does it build strength without sacrificing stability? Does it leave me feeling stronger or just sore? Your answers will guide you toward the exercises that truly serve you. And when in doubt, return to the basics. Controlled squats to a chair, light step-ups, gentle wall sits. These might not look exciting on camera, but they deliver the results that matter: better balance, stronger legs, and a safer path forward. And finally, remember this: your legs are your foundation. They carry you through life, through joy, through challenges. Protecting them isn't just about muscle, it's about dignity, freedom, the ability to move without fear, to stand tall, and to keep doing what you love for as long as possible. Choose your movements wisely. Trust your body. Train not to impress, but to endure. Because strength after 60 is less about what you can do today and more about what you'll still be able to do 10 years from now. If this opened your eyes or helped you rethink your approach to exercise, keep that momentum going. Share what you've learned. Adjust your routine. Help someone else avoid the silent damage that so many fall into unknowingly. Knowledge is power, but only if you act on it. Your future self will thank you.